Richie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the greatest motherfucking YouTuber of all time. Nostalgia Bonheads. And we're back. And we're going to discuss something interesting today. The people that hate my content. And how incredible life is when you finally hit the power of not giving a fuck. How powerful that is. The power of not giving a fuck. How it can triumph over anything. The power of not fucking caring. It has shattered what people believe, you know? Like, I seen a young Gen Z man, and I give my hats off to this guy. He made a video of basically saying how pointless the rat race is, how pointless chasing women is, how pointless building economic wealth is, how stupid the whole entire system is, and how pathetic it all really is. And it has gained massive views throughout the YouTube community. It has exploded. It has sent ripples among society almost in a way. And it's incredible. The power of not giving a fuck. And it is just incredible how much power that has. You know? And I was going through some of his comments, and I mean, like, there's people from all generations, like the boomers, the old men are like, wow, it's incredible how smart these Gen Z kids are, you know, like they literally, like, don't give a fuck about this system. They don't want to feed into it anymore. They don't want to put their time, their life, their effort into it. They don't want to feed it anymore. You know, they want to cut it off, you know, cut off the whole system and destroy it. And people are moved by this, man, you know, like it is a movement. It's an epidemic, you know, of it not being worth it for men. It's not a fair exchange, you know, and combined with another video that I checked out of a guy showing how you can live on 20 grand a year without a woman is like crazy, you know, like he literally broke it down of how you can literally survive on 20 grand a year not having a chick, you know, and it's mind-blowing, you know, and it has just sent ripples, you know, amongst everything, you know, of like, wow, it's so much easier, you know, like not just the money you save, but the opportunities you miss out, you know, like you miss out on so many opportunities because you're constantly entertaining a brat, essentially. You know, and I'm not saying all women are brats, but like, come on, we know. I think even a lot of women will agree with me. Like 90% of women are fucking brats, dude. Let's be real. I know some dudes are douchebags too. Don't get me wrong. Like this does not, you know, this video is not for the actual good people. Okay, like this isn't calling out, you know, like the good men out there and the actual good women. Like few and far between, like I've said. But you know, like. The power of not giving a fuck, that, you know, it has, you know, almost sent like a bigger movement than I ever thought it would, you know, of like a few younger people complaining about how stupid this whole system is and why the fuck are we even participating in it is incredible, you know. And like, I will say, 10 years ago, I never thought there was a chance in hell of like, anyone changing this system. Like it was just like guaranteed, like you were looked at as crazy or like nuts or, you know, like, yeah, right, good luck, buddy, you know. But now in 2025, like way more people are open to like this system being total bullshit. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, like the system fucking sucks regardless of how it's all set up and where you're even at, if you're rich or poor or anywhere in this system, of how bullshit it really is and how rigged it is and how like stupidly unfair it is, you know, of like, you know, like dating being a waste of time, you know, most friendships being a waste of time, you know, working forever, you know, being pretty much a waste of fucking time. I mean, you get a pile of money and then it's just like, I have a pile of money now. Great. Like, what's the point? I mean, like I said, to start a business and stuff and do stuff with it. But, like, other than that, it's just like, it's pointless. Like, you can buy food now. You can buy a fucking car you want or a house you want, like, great. Does that make me happy? You know what I mean? Like, people are seeing this for what it is, of this whole system not being worth participating in, and like, especially marriage and having children. I mean, like, it's almost like unanimous between women and men of like, this shit isn't worth it, and it's sad because even the few good women that are out there, even they are seeing it where they're like, is it really worth having kids and stuff, and now I have to like pay for them and take care of them, and have the extra bills. Like, fuck, even the women are fucking like, fuck this, and like, quite frankly, I really don't blame them. The good ones, at least, like, but like, it's the same with men. Like, we realized that it's completely fucking pointless, and like, there's no point. It's like, you end up screwed. You end up either losing your house or in jail, like, almost every time, or you end up at least losing something, of financial value or of your time or your effort. It is not worth it. And especially for the damn bougie women, like, they are so fucking incredibly not worth it. It is disgusting how obvious it is. And that brings me to the next thing in my topic of the people that hate my videos. And I've noticed a trend, of course, that it's typically the purple-haired ugly chicks. It's definitely mostly ugly chicks, period. And virgin-ass simp dudes. Like, your dudes that get nose rings. You know what I mean? Like, those fellas. But, it's always, like, the douchey people. But it's mind-blowing to me, even, like, some of the most, like, ugliest chicks, like, think they're gods at this point, Like, it's pretty fucking wild, And, like, crazy to me. But yeah, a lot of people are just seeing it's not worth it, that you're better off focusing on yourself and growing yourself, and eventually you make so much money that you just don't even give a fuck, and you don't give a fuck about having some chick mess it all up, and you eventually get to that point, where you're like, dude, I worked way too hard for this, I've worked way too hard for my success. I'm not letting some broad mess that shit up, you know what I mean? Like, shit, because I don't think any of us just want to work for free, you know what I mean? Like, that's the funny thing is, like, there's a lot of chicks literally shocked by this. Like, what do you mean you don't want to, like, work your entire existence away and pay rent every month and not own anything and work every day and support me while I complain and treat you like shit and spend your money? Like, what? You don't want to do that anymore? Like, but I have Kat, and another interesting thing is this guy that said about living on 20 grand a year. He was like, what did he say? It was something about like, shit, that like basically how peaceful his life is, and that like, oh yeah, he was like making videos on cooking and stuff, cooking his own food, cleaning his own house, have a nice clean house and everything, and it's just like, as men, we know how to do all this shit, man. Like, literally, the only thing that we need chicks for is getting laid. Like, that's really it. Especially, like, when they come into a relationship with no job, no fucking nothing, Like, and then they'll complain and be like, well, you just use me for getting laid. And it's like, that's all you're offering, dude. You're not offering anything else, Like, literally, you're not bringing anything else to the table. Like, it's, like, disgusting that they're literally shocked by that. It's like, oh, I don't want some fucking 30-year-old chick that got, used up, like, it's just absolutely, like, it's crazy, like, I don't want some 30-year-old or 40-year-old that has just ran through, like, millions of people, might have STDs, and then is going to also take my house and my car, like, yeah, it doesn't sound like fun, and I would argue the only people that, like, are hating on what I'm saying right now is because you don't fucking own anything. Like, of course, like, dude, when I was broke as fuck, like, I didn't give a fuck either. I was like, oh, those dudes are being ridiculous. Fuck it, I'll go smash that chick. You know what I mean? Like, Yeah, you're gonna say that when you're broke, but when you actually own shit and you can lose stuff, like when you have like assets to lose, like houses, cars, money, yeah, and you had to work for it, yeah, you're not gonna want to fucking, you know, go smash Aunt Jemima, or fucking smash one of these damn, straight up fucking tramps, like, yeah, especially when they can take all your shit. And then you got to restart over again. You like working 10, 20 years, you got to restart completely back at zero, dude. Yeah. No dude with money wants to do this. And that's who they're fucking chasing, is the dudes with fucking money. So like at the end of the day, like they don't want fucking the bums, dude. They're not gonna fucking take care of them. Like so the dudes they're chasing are like all pretty much just like, yeah, this is not worth it. Like I'll take my fucking pile of cash and stay alone, and enjoy life and have peace, and that's, pretty much the best route for dudes, unless you want to just completely start over, like if you worked for like, even someone that's worked for 100 grand or 200K that you've saved it up strategically, like you spent every, couple months cutting back on, what you do, going out, not, like wasting money on expensive food and stuff like that. And, you're cutting back and it's like, you don't want to fucking deal with that shit, and you painstakingly saved up, like your first 100 grand over like, like a 4 or 5 year period, after all the bills and stuff, like, yeah, you don't want to lose that shit, man, and then like when the more money you get, the easier this gets to have this belief, because like the more money you have, essentially the more risk you're taking into that relationship, and I say it for women or men, like, like if you're getting with some fucking bum ass motherfucker, like, yeah, you're taking big amounts of risk, especially if you have wealth yourself, and you guys see the horror stories on a daily basis, and they're not just horror stories like, oh, this might happen to you. It's like, no, there is a 90 to 95% chance that it will happen to you. Like, trust me. Trust me. I have watched friends for the past 15 years fall in the same traps, and every single fucking time, 95% of the time, it does not fucking work. I check a couple years later and they're long separated. There's already been a divide of the assets. Everything's already done. Like it's a fucking nightmare for dudes, and quite frankly, can you blame them? Like, even if you're a chick watching this video and you may hate what I'm saying, it may fucking rub your ego. If you worked for like 10 years, 20 years straight, every day, 40-hour work weeks, sometimes 80-hour work weeks, and, hustled and did everything, and you finally have made something of yourself when, like all the shitbag people were like, oh, you're broke, bro, I don't want nothing to do with you, you're dusty, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, now that you're more successful than them, like, yeah, you don't want to give those people, you wouldn't give these, if you were in the same situation as us, you wouldn't want to fuck with women either. Like, you would say the same thing, like, that ain't worth it, I'm not doing that. Like, it's the same thing, and it's like, they just don't get it, they're gonna have to get it eventually, but yeah, the only ones that like are hating what I'm saying is basically the fucking bums, dude. Like, or like the fucking real big simps, or the dudes with nose rings, or the chicks with nose rings, like, that's basically the shit that fucking, I don't know, like, it's basically the people that hate what I'm saying, is like the same group of people, no different. And it's just like, once they own something and have worked for something tirelessly, and they've achieved it to their goals, yeah, if there's a 90% failure rate in relationships, yeah, and then they get to take your shit, you're going to avoid that shit at all costs, dude. You're going to avoid it like landmines, you know? Like, and that's just how it is. And, you know, you can hate on that all you want, but it's just the fucking truth. So, you know, that's pretty much all we have for this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, but, like, I'm telling you, once you, like, actually have, like, a good bit of money, the last thing you want to do is take any unnecessary dumb gambles of losing said money, you know, or said status or wealth that you've achieved, you know, like, it's very difficult for any person to make money. Like, I don't care even if you're a millionaire or if you're broke, it's still difficult for any person to make this easy money that is portrayed on the internet. You know, that you just are a professional gambler and you go to a casino and bet $250K and you just are like, now you're a millionaire. You know, like, it doesn't fucking work that way. Like, it's tons of strategic work, tons of effort, or fucking doing OnlyFans. But my point is, like, for most men at least, our options are working and earning it the hard ass way, not the easy way at all, you know, and that's just the truth. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's pretty much all we have for today's video, and yeah, I'm gonna go watch the rainstorm and just kind of chill. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're out.